Nice.
So NFTs gotta unlock something, and often, if you're with a brand, they should unlock experiences to bring people closer in.
And they should be secure, right? And that's one of the best parts about this is kind of decentralizing things so that the big tech companies aren't owning all of the things, right? Eventually, we're going to be in a panopticon if we're not careful, so we want to make sure that it's all done correctly. And next, we have a nice panel of folks that are going to be talking about some of these things to your assets, to experiences, and how to secure your brand's on-chain future.
It's Jessica, Andrew, Jeremy, Keith, and Katie. Give them a hand, please.
Woo!
Come on up, gang.
Hey, good afternoon, NFT.NYC. Are we awake out there? Are we having fun? Having a good time? Welcome all. Thanks so much for joining us on the panel today. My name is Keith Soljacich. I'm the head of innovation at Publicis Media Content and Innovation. I'm thrilled to be back here on the main stage at NFT.NYC for year 3. It's incredible how this community has grown, how this conference has grown, and the faces are growing and changing, and it's amazing, and it's really following the space. We are the Publicis Media Content and Innovation team, and our panel today is a peek behind the curtain at what we've been thinking about, what we've been building, and how we see this Web3 space through the lens of brands. We've got a rock star team here, all from Publicis Media Content Innovation, but as well as our Lion Vault, our Web3 brand platform. So, looking out and thinking about the brand space, we're at a very different place less than 2 years later. The world's biggest brands are on chain. Nike, Starbucks, Macy's, Samsung, and a little bit earlier today, you saw MasterCard on stage announcing a music program. These brands are building their communities through Web3, through tokens, through the blockchain, but what they're really doing is they're translating their brand purpose into utility. And that's an incredibly powerful, that's very powerful for a brand and their way into Web3. They've realized now that their relationship with consumers goes way beyond just that transaction at the register or online, or the loyalty point that you get in exchange for that purchase. You can create a deeper connection, a deeper brand love with your consumers through Web3 by directly owning that relationship, owning the consumer relationship, owning the data that you exchange, and now crafting next-gen experiences that drive brand love, commerce, and loyalty. It's so elusive, right? This is what we're actually looking for, but this is what Web3 provides for brands. So it hasn't been easy, and I just want to take a moment here to applaud every marketer, agency person, anyone who has grinded, learned, taught, and then evangelized back to their organizations. You're fighting the good fight, and you understand the transformative power of blockchain as it relates to consumer experience. So, I'm not going to be the only one talking today because we have incredible people here. So I want to meet the panelists. Please introduce yourself to the incredible NFT.NYC crowd and give us a little bit of your superhero origin stories.
All right, thanks, Keith. My name is Jeremy Cohen. I lead Web3 investment, which depending on the day can mean many different things, but as a whole, we invest in the ecosystem and watching the ecosystem grow and thrive and continue to see adoption. Jessica?
All right, I'm Jessica Berger, VP of Innovation at Publicis. I focus primarily on Web3 and immersive technologies and educating our clients, our brands, on what that even means for them and how they can actually use them to integrate them, looking beyond the current mainstream flow of any marketing campaigns and activation that they may consider to really think future forward. What does that mean and where can it go?
And I'm Katie Hudson. I'm Managing Director of Futurescapes, and I look at all kinds of different emerging data and tech propositions and work with this fantastic team of people to support our clients on metaverse activations, but also looking at the intersection of other technologies like AI, for example, which a lot of our customers are asking us about. I actually got involved in blockchain many years ago when I was looking at use cases for it in the international trade and supply chain industry, and I had a very strong feeling about it at that time. I actually was at a conference and met the guys who kind of were behind all the kind of Ethereum stuff at the very early stages, and I had no idea though that I think this was going to become the rest of my life, but I have a real passion for it now, and it's great to work with these guys.
Hi, I'm Andrew Klein. I'm the SVP of Web3 Brand Strategy and Innovation. I've been doing, over the last 2 years, over a dozen brand drops, bringing brands into the NFT space, but more importantly, getting their current audiences to be able to connect and experience these. Nothing excites me more than working with brands and figuring out how we could push the envelope and get them into these Web3 spaces and do completely new imaginative things that just bring them closer to their audiences and help achieve your brand goals at the end of the day.
Great. And Keith Soljacich, a lead innovation in this team, and really my background started in the XR space and immersive experiences and spatial computing. And you could see how that was going to transform consumer experience with brands. But my eyes here were opened when I started collecting CryptoPunks with my best friend in the world, Crypto Novo. And it really opened my eyes to community, because I spent my first really few months in this space in the CryptoPunks community. And now where that has grown and evolved is CryptoPunks are everywhere. They're in major organizations, they're in technology companies, and we're really evangelizing the technology because it was the first, right? And understood and shared with each other and really spread the understanding. And now, as we've taken that knowledge and brought that to brands and have worked on with the Macy's of the world and the Samsungs of the world and brought those experiences, it really all starts in trust, but more so trust actually in investment, right? And that investment rides along with the trust. And Jeremy, why is it critical for brands to begin their Web3 investment today?
So investment in Web3 is a paradigm shift for marketers, and we recognize that very early. And what we mean by that is when you take the technology being blockchain and you wrap the financial marketplace of crypto around that, there are obviously a number of unknowns and uncertain dynamics there, but what we do know is it creates a really unique opportunity for marketers to not just hit on traditional marketing KPIs, but also evolve into business transformation KPIs, impact on the financial sector of a given business. And so why is it critical today? Well, it's critical to build a foundation today. And that's what we've been doing for the better part of 2 years at this point, is building a foundation based on what we know of the space. And what we know of the space is that crypto and blockchain are tied together. They are one and the same, and that creates friction, but also creates potential. And so what a foundation means is every brand, we can't think of Web3 as a channel. It's an ecosystem that is really only in the early innings of evolution. And so building a foundation means looking at your business holistically and understanding how you can build a further relationship with a consumer in a way that provides meaningful ownership and utility over time. So really extending the relationship and the product and service catalog you have with customers. On our side, what we think of investment, it means a number of different things. As I said a moment ago, we really invest in the ecosystem because none of us succeed if we're in the phase of, all ships will rise with the tide. And so our effort is in rising that tide. And for us, that really came down to focusing on compliance. There is not a regulatory framework in the US or abroad to operate from to say what you can and cannot do perfectly. So we have invested heavily in technology, in people, in partners, in companies to take a path of auditability so that whatever a future regulatory framework looks like, we are protecting our clients and prospective clients in this ecosystem, and again, pushing that goal of driving mass adoption and making this accessible for our clients and for marketers at large. And the last point with that, is around a foundation. It seems very daunting, and every day we feel this. There's a daunting nature to how much is in this ecosystem. But the foundational aspect is really, the key piece is if you invest in understanding how your relationship with the consumer within wallets, within wallet infrastructure, within, leveraging all of the millions and tens of millions and billions of dollars in building relationships with consumers, how can you expand that beyond? And so it really is a choose your own adventure. And we recommend and we focus on how do you take that first step as a brand to actually build a solid foundation so you can build experiences without having to think about all of the things that we think about every day, which is legal and compliance and taxation and accounting and all of those fun words that nobody wants to hear on this stage. But overall, taking that first step is the most important step, and that's what we have built Lion Vault essentially to do.
Yeah, and we always kind of say brands will come to us in one of three categories. They don't know what the technology is, and they don't know what to do. They understand the technology and the possibilities, but they're looking to understand what they can do in the space. Or lastly, they understand the technologies, they understand what they can do, and they're looking for a partner to accelerate that growth. Jessica, why don't you tell us a little bit about how brands need to think differently about their Web3 strategy today?
Yeah, there are a lot of points, and I have to repeat them quite a bit. But a few the most important things come to mind that I feel like should be on everyone's top of mind. One is, as a brand, right, or just a company, anyone really, if you're creating traditional assets and you're creating your services, and then whatever services and assets that might be, you may also want to think about, in addition to that, what that digital asset may look like, and where else you can build an experience so consumers can come to you and actually experience something that they may otherwise would not have, right? So what can you actually offer that is new and exciting that digital assets can actually enable you to do? And that is just based on where consumers are headed right now, what sort of the behaviors are that we're seeing that are changing constantly, and they will always change. And that is specifically important, I think, as we're looking to Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? Those are new generations, customers in the making, basically, with different needs and different behaviors. So following always those patterns. And then I think importantly also is to note that there is a spectrum, right? Like based on what Jeremy already said, there's really an ecosystem that we can play in, and it's huge, it's massive. It's not just a one-way path, it's not just a one-size-fits-all. So yes, as a brand, you can still very much work with like a niche PFP project. And as I was walking around here earlier, there are lots of them still out there, lots of really creative paths forward that you can connect to. However, there's also the other side of that spectrum where, thinking of a Reddit, what they did, or what we heard earlier in the day, Ticketmaster, right? They're really just using the technology in the background so the consumer, I as a user, can just focus on the great experience, collect maybe an avatar, but I don't have to think about the technology and the wallets and all the different friction points that are there. So I can, as a brand, also just enable the technology in the back end and just have the experience stay in the front and make that a really cool and awesome thing. And so there's a whole range of touch points that you can still very much today build on. And especially, and that's my one last part, is to really also at this point think about the real life and the digital experience and everything in between. What does it look like? When I come to a retail store, right, and I purchase my product and I see the packaging, that's all really great, and there's lots of improvements being made there. However, thinking about Web3 and what that can actually enable, there's so much more it can actually add on and build in addition to that, where Web3 really can help build an entire new experience around that. So there's really lots to be done and lots that can be done, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and Jessica, such an incredible point, and really, we passionately believe in the Web3 ethos of community and partnerships and collaboration and open source. And part of that is why I believe this space has accelerated in adoption and growth so quickly. Everybody is looking at this together. You can't spell community without unity. And partnerships are an incredible accelerant to that community and that unity. And Katie, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how we view partnerships in the Web3 space and how those can be accelerants for brand growth.
Yeah, thank you. And one thing I didn't say in my intro, actually, I realize I've left it out now, which is why he's asking me this question, is I think I have one of the coolest jobs in the world, frankly, and we can all arm wrestle each other for who has the coolest job on our team, but I run all of our global partnerships, and that means that I get to talk to exciting companies that are doing amazing stuff, great startups, great scale-ups, that we can bring together with our brand and retailer customers and look at all kinds of amazing, exciting experiences that we can create with their technology and their capabilities and their skills at development or creating, all kinds of different things and that Jessica was talking about. So, I have the opportunity to be able to talk to these people, understand how the technology is evolving, how the different utility and the kind of capabilities are evolving. And that's actually very important to Publicis, and to our clients. So we act as an advisor to our clients often on the technologies that we spot that are the absolute best sort of technologies out there that solve the right problems for clients. And we look at that in the context of our technology and service stack, and then we try to make the best fit for our customers. So we often kind of work directly with the partners so that our clients don't have to go out and do that themselves. It's a very complex ecosystem. I'm sure all of you are aware that there are literally thousands of companies out there that do a variety of different amazing things, and they're all really great specialists at what they do. But it's really hard for any individual company to set up a team like the one that we have and manage all those relationships and manage all the relationships with the Web 2 partners that we have as well to connect that ecosystem across omni-channel experience. And we are very fortunate in our group as well to have a kind of data and technology part of what we do, so we can actually act as integrators across that, the ad tech ecosystem, the marketing technology ecosystem, and the Web3 ecosystem. So it's really an exciting proposition to be able to connect the dots essentially, and to see the intersections between the different things that clients are trying to achieve, and know that it's possible, and solve those problems for clients in ways that have never been done before. So that's really essential, and I don't think that there's any other group doing that, and it's been hugely beneficial to us to understand what's going on across the ecosystem and to be able to make those connections. But it's definitely incredibly helpful for the brands and retailers that we work with as they're trying to execute very complex campaigns with what to them is very complex technology for the very first time, and to make sure that they're doing that in effective and compliant ways.
So as a brand now, you've established your investment strategy. You've got a foundation for the brand strategy and your consumer strategy, and you've got the right partnerships in place to craft that for an accelerant of growth. But the last key step is the experience itself and the assets you can actually collect. And to me, there's no one better in this world than Andrew Klein, JRR Token, around assets and experiences and innovation in this space, because the blue sky is all out there for innovation. The whole road is ahead of us in Web3 to create and innovate. And Andrew, tell me, like we don't talk about this all the time, but what's exciting you about Web3 brand experiences in 2023?
Too much excitement. There's tons of things, but I think that's also important for brands to understand, right? Is that what are we doing, or what will you do in the space, and how do you do that in a relevant and connected way that your audiences appreciate? Look, over the last 2 years, as the NFT cycle really kicked into gear, it was very much Web3 focused, Web3 audiences, and we learned a lot, right? We learned how to do mechanics, what are claiming, what's burning, what's collecting, how do you do strategic drops. But there's a easier way to go about it, and it's just being kind of like clear and seeing what's the opportunity. How do we connect with our audiences? And now that we have solutions and these foundational elements, it makes it very easy to do. You don't necessarily need to have a MetaMask wallet or a crypto wallet and seed phrases to participate. You can now just log in with your usual brand loyalty login and that program, and connect to spin up a wallet in the back end, make it very easy and intuitive, and then start collecting, and then that's where the engagement can come through. I'm just like over the moon with what's been happening so quickly recently for digital to physical connections. And if you think about how we work as digital marketers and integrated marketers, we're trying to reach you, and we're also there's data, there's cookies, there's ways that we're trying to say who's our audiences and how do we reach them. Well, the beautiful thing about NFTs and digital collectibles is that these act as these permanent cookies. They're opted in. It's your way of allowing your audiences to come in and connect in a completely new and much deeper way with your brand, and they're saying, I want to do this. You're not forcing it upon them. You're actually tapping into your biggest fan base and saying, come along on this ride with us. And it's going beyond the drop. It's going into now these very interconnected experiences. You could look at Starbucks. Starbucks is in the beta phase right now. It's doing this amazing program where you're able to, not just learn more about the brand and start experiencing that on the digital side, but they're actually driving you to store. They're driving you to convert. They're driving you to purchase products, try different products, and learn about that. And by doing so, you're collecting, you're earning, and you're having this greater brand experience. They're giving you points. They're giving you rewards. It's not so, it's not such a, it shouldn't be such a mystery, right? And so you're looking at now Nike, Artifact, which was really helping them kind of get their bearings in this Web3 space, allowing people to have digital items that got you the most exclusive digital sneakers. I can't wait to get mine, hopefully later this month or next month. But those are digitally connected, and it shows that you own them. They're, maybe they're one-of-ones or super rare, but you have the unique access to these shoes and products. And now they're launching .swoosh, right? So they already evolved from Artifact, which was really like that hardcore Web3 audience, now going into .swoosh, which is everybody else. Come in, get a pass, and soon they're gonna drop you a shoe box. What's in the shoe box? We'll find out, but I bet it's gonna be shoes, and really cool ones, both digital and physical. Just today, and we could try this, it's like a live demo, I'm not shilling anything, but this is G-Money's hat that I got this morning. It's a 9DCC, which is his fashion brand. And over here on the 9, you could tap your phone to it and you could collect a digital collectible. What's the point? I am now, with this hat, becoming a digital storefront. I am becoming the evangelist for the brand. I am now marketing for him just by wearing the hat. He's partnered with an amazing company called IYK, who does NFC chips. So these, and I'm like trying to get it out of my pocket, I guess. I hope I didn't lose it. You are able to now just tap a card, tap a product, and then get a digital collectible that gets you now connected to that branded community. It gets you part of this ecosystem where you could unlock more, experience more. With this hat, they're doing an entire scavenger hunt through New York City this week. So you could tap it, you'll be able to see all the locations. So it's a fully interactive experience loaded with data, loaded with ways to connect and have fun and have this like deeper engagement with community. So it's super important for brands to start thinking about themselves. What do their audiences love? You don't necessarily have to back it into like, what do Web3 enthusiasts love? Actually, what do your day-to-day audiences you've been cultivating for the last 20, 30 plus years in Web 2 and bring them into this journey, but do so easily. Don't scare them. Don't worry about the words, NFTs. These are just digital collectibles. These are passes. These are memberships. They know what this is, and this unlocks completely new ways to engage and have these beautiful connections that will just pay off in the long run.
That's incredible. Well, look, we've covered investment, we've covered strategy, we've covered partnerships, we've covered experiences, but ultimately it's all going to start with a wallet for your brand. And that I would encourage you to start there. Everything jumps off of the wallet, the enterprise wallet, and there's incredible solutions out there that you can look at to start with the wallet and then move to assets, build out experiences, convert your CRM into a community. Think of your cookies as tokens, and now start to activate that community and really drive that brand love. So I want to thank NFT.NYC for having us on stage here. Thank you all for coming out. We're networking with POAPs after the panel, so come by and tap into a POAP and find us and ask us anything you like. But thanks so much, NFT.NYC.